Hey everybody, so just a quick update. This will be my last video from the apartment. We're moving into a house in less than 2 weeks. We just purchased one in north central Phoenix. So we're just kind of in packing mode here, and I just wanted to give you a quick update as to what's been going on in my rig and the infamous Denafrips versus PS Audio DAC shootout there. I mentioned that my rig was going through some changes, and changes are just about complete, and I'll get to the just about part in a few minutes. Essentially, all the PS Audio amplifiers are gone. I traded them in through the music room for this balanced audio technology, or BAT super tube preamp, and I love this thing. I mean, now I've got tube front end with Class D back end, which I'll get to in a minute. Why am I holding my dog through this whole video? Because she just wrecked the last one, so now, so long as she doesn't go crazy, life should be good. Plus, she, you know, it's my baby. Anyhow, so yeah, this tube preamp is like the cat's ass, even though I hate cats. Right, Happy? We hate cats, right? But we're dog lovers. Okay, anyhow. So I've got the BAT preamp. It's 20 years old. I got it from the music room. Those guys are awesome. I mean, if you ever got to do business with them, I got nothing but good words to say. They serviced this thing. They checked it all out. Super clean. The only issue, which was advertised, is the display's a little dim, but so am I, so it's all good. At any rate, again, fantastic sound. All the old stereophile reviews were correct. This, you know, it's made in, I believe, Massachusetts somewhere. The whole history of balanced audio technology is online, so I don't need to get into it in this video. It did come with the remote control, and this is the special edition version that came out 20 years ago, so it's got the paper and oil coupling capacitors both on the output stages and on the power supply. Fully balanced. There's no single-ended inputs on it anywhere, which is, my whole system's balanced anyways, which I'll get to the next thing. If you haven't noticed, including the BAT, the Onkyo, which I bought off my friend, as I mentioned, this thing's about 4 years old model. It does Dolby Atmos, which is going to get implemented in the new audio space. But if you notice this KEF 105.3 here, it doesn't look like your regular KEF 105s, because I fried all the Unique tweeters and there was only one good working mid-range. The other three, they buzzy and all this. Yes, I'm talking to the camera. Do you have a problem with that? No, you don't. So anyway, so yeah, fried the tweeters. So what I did was, and I'll show you guys in a minute, the black KEF 105s that I have, I took out the mid-woofers. Since they're the same identical drivers, just, you know, they had a tweeter shoved in the middle of it. I connected the mid-range crossovers output to these guys. The Morel tweeter is actually, okay, now I gotta put her down. Say bye to the camera for now, Happy. Bye-bye. The Morel tweeter was originally a replacement for the 104.2's tweeters, but as I mentioned before, I'd replaced the ferrofluid thanks to the gentleman's video on YouTube, which I'll give full credit for once I get this thing posted. And I know I've been pretty lazy with the links in the last couple of videos, but this time I'm actually going to get you guys all the links. So I had the two tweeters collecting dust, so I thought, well, I got the crossovers all done. They're all rebuilt. Let's see what happens if I mount the tweeter externally and just offset it between the upper mid-woofer and the mid-range in the middle. And it sounds better than the Unique driver ever did. Even though the Unique drivers I had the Simply Speakers metal dome tweeters in it, which I wasn't too crazy about, and when they burned up, I was disappointed, but at the same time, yeah. And the funny thing was, that one there, I actually saw the Uniq tweeter literally go up in smoke like Cheech and Chong. So yeah, now the other KEF 104.2 has a bad midwoofer in it. It's fuzzy and it buzzes every now and then. So I'm basically relegating it to my parts bin. Keeping the cabinet, keeping everything intact so nothing gets damaged, but I put out of the 4 woofers that I'd redone the donuts, one of them had a lazy voice coil, while my friend that gave me these speakers as well had spare 8-inch KEF woofers for these 104.2s. The difference between the 104.2 8-inchers and the 105.3 8-inchers is those guys have foam surrounds for some strange reason, yet these guys, which are older, have a rubber surround or butyl surround, whatever the material was back in 1984. So I've got 3 spare woofers in there because one of the red cabinets did have a bad 8-inch woofer, so I ripped it out of there. I've still got 2 good mid woofers and 3 8-inch woofers from the black cabinet, so in the event I ever blow anything here, I'm covered. And that Morel tweeter is readily available on Parts Express, so it's not like it's a oddball part that I'll never be able to buy. And it is a fabric dome tweeter. Sounds fabulous. Honestly, the sound doesn't come like it's coming from the tweeter, which is the main thing, especially when you're externally mounting stuff like that. And I put the industrial 3M two-sided tape, and it hasn't fell down yet. We'll see. Hopefully it survives the move and all that stuff, because those things are $50 a pop if I had to buy them. Again, my friend who gave me the KEFs gave me the tweeters as well. And over here, this would have been completed on the weekend. I'll get to that. So I call these KEF 105.3s quote unquote activated, and the whole deal is the whole deal here is I've got pictures which I'll embed in the video. But there's a Antec power supply bolted to the back of this cabinet that has a humongous toroidal transformer. It's got industrial rectifier, which I love, and about 40,000 microfarads of power supply capacitance, and 57 volts DC at 14 amps. All that to power a Bosch, quote unquote, it's a Class D amplifier, but as Leo's literature states, and I'll make sure all the links are in there because I'm a real big fan of Leo's stuff. In fact, it's because of the Orchard Audio amplifiers that I traded in all 4 of my PS Audio amps, including what was newly acquired S300, for this tube preamp with these Class D amplifiers. What I've done is the top section here is Leo's Orchard Audio or Stark Crimson, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, there was a Bosch tried to sue him because he used Bosch, which is a fucking pair. Yes, I said fuck. First time in over a year and a half. everybody keeps telling me, your videos, you're dull, you're boring, you're blah, blah, blah. Well, this is the real JoeyG today. Warts and all, okay? Anyhow, I love the sound of this thing. Everything the reviewers are saying is true. I know the top end is super, super sweet, extended. Mid-range is to die for. It's not too boomy in the mid-range. Lower bass, depending on the amplifier that you're depending on the speaker, that you're going to drive these Boss amps with. Myself personally, for driving the top section here, which is two 8-inch woofers in parallel, two 8-ohm woofers in parallel with a 6-inch 8-ohm mid-range, plus the 8-ohm tweeter. And you guys saw, I'll make sure the pictures of the crossovers are also embedded in this video. Huge value capacitors, inductors, and it's just a nasty, nasty ass crossover, but it sounds sweet, it sounds gorgeous. These KEFs have never sounded this good in 30 years. This combination blows away the old UniQ drivers from way back when. Now, I almost made the fatal mistake last weekend of buying a KEF Q350 loudspeaker, which has a 6.5-inch new style UniQ driver. It would have cost me about $800, including their extended warranty, because I had a plan to gut the UniQ driver from a new KEF box and shove it in here. Thank God I didn't. I returned everything, got my money back. Life is good again. This will have blown that away easily, because I've heard the KEF, I guess that's the KEF, the 50 LS50. That's it. It's not my cup of tea. There's too much mid-range, obviously upper sweet extended treble, blah blah blah. Not enough bass for me, even in a small speaker like that. And for that price category justification, yeah, they look cool, they look cute, but you can buy a pair of KEF towers for the same price of an LS50, have a lot better bass, have the same treble extension. Again, that's my personal feeling, right? Or you could go even one better and get yourself a new pair of ELACs now that they're officially out for release. And again, I just went off topic, sorry. So the Orchard Audio Boss amplifier powers the top section here. 2 to 8-inch woofers, and again, there will be pictures embedded, are driven by a Class D audio amp from Ice Power, 1,000 watts at 4 ohms, Parts Express. Yes, Happy? Yeah, I had a little bit of a incident on the weekend. I had everything wired, powered up the Boss amp. The mid-bass drivers and the mid-range drivers were working fine. And then when I went to go add the tweeter in, these two wires somehow were touching inside, and there's no actual protection on those Boss amps on the output stages. So yes, they'll play down to 1.5 ohms or half an ohm, but if you have an intentional short circuit like this and you leave it on for too long like that, they'll blow. So yeah, I fucked up. Okay, I should have fucking taped the fucking wires. Not bad, 4 fucks in a row. First time in a year and a half. This is going to be a good video, guys, I'm telling you. So, be that as it may, an email to Leo, and he says, you know what, man, I'm doing a Labor Day weekend sale. You got 15% off. Get yourself another module. No problem. And I had an email back and forth with him and the board shop that he deals with in New Jersey. Yeah, there's board shops here in Phoenix, but the thing is, I'd rather do this with the guy who designed the boards, because the circuits are proprietary, the schematics are proprietary, as are the bill of materials. So as his customer, I'm not privileged, to that info, which is fine, So I'm sending him the boards back to New Jersey, to his board shop. I'm getting a quote on how much it's going to cost to replace the 2 GAN devices, and I'm probably just going to get all the active components on it changed, even though I could probably do it myself here, but with the move and everything else going on, you know, my microscope's packed up, my soldering irons are all packed up, you know. The Leo's amps are on back order right now. He's expecting to receive shipment next week. So they'll either get shipped here before the 23rd, before we move out, or it'll get shipped to the new address, which he has. So either way, you know, as soon as I get it in, this guy's ready to go. I just got to solder the 2 wires, 3M 2-sided tape. They're mirrored pairs, right? So the tweeters will be inset on both the left and right channels. And, you know, I mean, for now, I'm just listening to 1 tower at night, so I'm not critical evaluation, but I've done the on-axis 1-speaker deal many times, you know, whenever I had to do any expensive DIY builds. So, you know, I'm not, it's nothing new to me. So, yeah, again, the KEFs, they sound absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to get this tweeter and the new Boss amp in here. And if everything goes good, when I do get the Boss amplifier that I damaged, it will then power the midwoofers and the repaired tweeter of the 104.2. I'll just get another Class D amp from Parts Express for the woofer section. It may not be the 1,000-watt monster. I might just get the 500-watt because it's center channel. It's mainly for voice, and if you're watching movies, some special effects and things like that. So I don't need it to go deep down into, you know, 30 hertz territory and all that. So, you know, and that's the other thing. Anybody who says to me, "Oh, your center channel is supposed to be horizontal," bullshit, bullshit and fuck in the same video. Gotta like it. I'm in a mood today, folks. I'm a fan of the THX setup. Vertical speakers, preferably the same type of voicing, which in this case, yeah, not really, but you know, close enough. And when you're listening to five channel music, this is the only way to do it. You know, I mean, if you think about it, in the 1950s, Klipsch had the two, what were they? I guess they would have been the Cornwalls or the La Scalas, and the Klipsch Heresy was manufactured originally as a center channel mono speaker. And back in those days, Living Stereo had the 3-channel recordings and stuff like that, and whatever kind of processing they used to separate the 3 front channels, you know, whatever kind of matrixing they used, who knows. So vertical center channels have been around for over 60 years. So anybody that tells me you need a horizontal center channel is full of shit. I don't give a fuck. Cool. So now let's get to the Ohm Walshes. So these are the Ohm Walsh micros, and I'm using them for my surround channels at the moment. Basically, it's based on the Ohm Walsh cylinder or cylindrical driver, and I guess they've got some tweeters mounted on angles, but you know, the main thing is do not try to take this cover off. They say so specifically. These were also given to me by the same gentleman that gave me the 6 KEF floor standers, and he also gave me something else. I bought the Onkyo from him. I didn't get that for free, but he gave me a damn good deal on it, so no arguments there. Anyways, these things for surrounds is what they were meant for. They're excellent. They fill the rear channels very nicely. Bass, I can hit a 50 hertz tone pretty clean with them. I think they're only rated for 80, but obviously with a little bit of attenuation and placement, you know. So they do, and I mean, I could always shove homebrew subwoofers underneath them in the future if I want to, but you know, I like them for what they are. Right now I've got them on my speaker stands that held up the 901s before. In the new space, these are most likely going to hang off the wall as they were intended, because they were designed to have this cylinder part pretty much reflect off the back wall and basically make the back wall come alive. So for surround, you know, basically what you want anyways, so long as there's some localization, of course. So those are the ohm Walshes there. So the same friend who gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 KEF floor standers also obviously gave me the 2 ohm speakers. I bought the Onkyo off of him because he's moved to California, so he wanted to get a lot of his old stuff that he had no use for anymore. He also gave me an Adcom 7300 5-channel amplifier. This is rated at, I think, 90 watts per channel into 4 ohms and 80 watts per channel into 8 ohms. So in the new space, I'm going to use this guy to power the 4 Bose 901s, which are, I'm probably going to, the Bose people are just going to freak out, and I really don't care at this point. I'm not going to build a wall of sound with them, because the new space, I'm going to add quadratic diffusers, homebrews. I'm going to add some absorption panels in proper locations. So it's going to be fully decked out in, you know, acoustics, homemade bass traps in the corners, all that fun stuff. And as we learned in Ron from New Record Days video, his room is excellent. It's tuned right. It's perfect. Throw a pair of 901s in there, and yes, we did get them rocking and rolling, and we got them sounding really nice a couple of months ago after the video posted, of course. We had the Carver amp. We had a lot of juice. We got some decent sound out of it. We never got around to doing a follow-up video yet, and as you guys know, if you follow Ron's channel, I'll post a link to that too in case you don't. He's been busy as hell. He's had a lot of reviews going on between the ELACs, between the Lampizator, the LTZ stuff. You know, he's got tons. So hopefully we'll be able to do a follow-up. I'm actually using Ron as storage space right now, and he knows that, for my old 901s. As soon as we get into the new space, I'll probably come by over to his place, pick them up, and all that fun stuff. So, all right, getting back to the 901s, what my plan to do with them is, I'm not going to so much hang them from the ceiling, but I'm going to mount them in such a way they'll be connected to the ceiling joists, and I'm going to use 4 of them for 4 Atmos channels. And even with the V, if I position them right, it should give us a full, like the whole ceiling should light up with some sort of directionality if you're in the middle of the room. So I got to do a little more homework with the Dolby Atmos stuff. The only Dolby Atmos material that I have worth trying it out on is the Abbey Road box set, where Giles Martin did a Dolby Atmos mix of Abbey Road, which, you know, again, if I set these things up right, it should sound way better than, you know, sticking 4 holes in the ceiling and, you know, shoving a bunch of car speakers is what I call them, because that's all they're doing. You know, anytime I see these coaxial speakers, is basically a car speaker that gets shoved into a ceiling with some, you know, funky angles pointed at the listener. Anyways, so yeah, that's basically my last video from this apartment. It's a bit on the long side. I'll try to edit some stuff out, make it a little more interesting. Thanks for following me for the last year and a half. It's probably going to be at least a couple of months until you see the next video. I'll probably post a new video just to kind of show how bad the acoustics are in the room that all this equipment's going to be in. So there'll be like a pre and a post. I'm not going to bother showing you guys how to build panels, how to do diffusers, because there's guys that have been doing this stuff for years. They've got excellent videos on YouTube. Just do a Google search, you know, or a YouTube search on quadratic diffusers DIY, sound absorption panels DIY, and how to mount them, and how to look for first reflections, how to look for second reflections, the mirror trick. All that good stuff's on YouTube, all that good stuff's on Google. I'm not going to waste your guys' time with it, because these guys have got videos that are way better quality than what I'm doing, right? Remember, I'm still just a hack channel, and I'm not getting paid for anything. Nobody's sponsoring me, you know. I don't have Patreon. Hell, but I've had a lot of new subscribers since that Denafrips versus PS Audio video aired, and I want to thank all you guys. I want to thank you guys also for the really cool comments. You know, there's some Chi-Fi defenders that, you know, they were basically saying, oh, PS Audio is no good. It's, you know, do this. I'm like, guys, don't even start. If you're not going to do a 30-day money back thing, what's the point? You know. But anyways, I already said my piece on that stuff, you know. And yeah, that's my rig. I'm not one for flowery audiophile or audiofool adjectives. What the fuck is the warm side of neutral? Right? I don't fucking get it. If I ever hear that fucking term again and it's still out there, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. So you're not gonna get, you've never heard flowery adjectives come from me. It either sounds like shit, it sounds really good, or it's fucking awesome, it's fantastic. You know, close my eyes and, you know, everything comes, the speakers come alive, they disappear. That's what you get from me, you know. I'm not into the flowery adjectives. It never was, and it never will be. You know, so it sounds like shit, sounds good, sounds great, sounds awesome, sounds excellent. You know, sounds even better after a few single malt scotches, you know. Anyways, guys, this is me signing off for a little bit. I'll introduce you guys to the new space once we got everything moved in. You know, it'll probably be mocked up with all the equipment in place, but nothing connected. So if anything, I'll be using these guys quite a bit while I'm working on the new space. By the way, this sounded awesome before. Now it sounds even more awesome. Transformer coupled output going into a tube preamp, coming out into a FET input, and then final playback through a tube. As funky as that sounds, it sounds even better. You know, what sounded great before sounds fucking awesome now. So anyways, guys, have a good one. You know, thanks again for watching. We'll see you hopefully in the next little while. Bye for now.